Uniquely Gonzaga is a great way of looking at what we do. We, of course, are excellent academically. We place a very high priority on getting our students engaged with the broader community. And then we are inspired by our Jesuit legacy. It goes to the notion of simply having great people who believe in the value of a high-quality business education.
A ZAG? I've been one since 1951. Why do you change? Yes, I'm still belong to Gonzaga. I still have friends on campus. I still have people I know.
At its core, Gonzaga has kind of maintained the same core principles while still adapting to kind of the external environment. It's really about kind of getting in and doing the work and learning by doing business, which is phenomenal.
Big sense of community, big sense of loyalty. You got to know the professors got to know you. That it taught me to think as opposed to teaching me to memorize.
I loved being a student here, and to the point where when I decided to get a PhD, like my whole thought was, I hope I could be a professor at a place like Gonzaga, right? And got a job at the most Gonzaga place there is, so.
And it feels unique. Whatever that secret sauce is, something is there that creates that bond.
You have to try very hard not to be a ZAG once you're there.
When I first came to Gonzaga, I think we were a faculty of 16. To make a long story short, in my 8th year, I became the dean of the business school. And President Coughlin at that time asked if I would really move the school in a different direction, and we did.
We were housed in the basement of what was then known as the administration building and now known as College Hall. We were fortunate enough to receive funding, in particular from Bob and Alice Jepson, to build the Jepson Center. It was like going into a palace.
For me to go back and to see the School of Business, I mean, that's just kind of mind-blowing to me, to say, wow, look what it's become from when I was there.
And then the second thing, and the president was adamant about this, as was I, and that was to receive accreditation from the American Assembly of Collegiate Schools. It took us about 8 years to build the faculty, and we did that.
And then the funny thing is, within 10 years or so, we outgrew it.
And then in 2006, we doubled the size of it. We had just outgrown it in 20 years. And we'll probably outgrow it again, I don't know.
We're not just a small little the Catholic school in the eastern part of the state. We are a school that's known across the whole United States and half the world.
Once you actually go through Gonzaga, once you go through the business school, you learn more than just core business skills. You learn how to be a contributing member of society.
I don't think I would have been able to jump into a career in flying all over the world without that kind of mentorship, not just from one person, but that the school gave me throughout those 4 years.
Gonzaga positioned you well to enter that bigger world and to get on that bigger stage.
When I look at that next generation of students who will eventually come to the university, they're a lot different than I am, and I know I'm a lot different than the generation that preceded me. And so it's an understanding that people change, preferences change, ways of learning change.
I don't think you can find an area in business that really hasn't been touched in some way by change, and even beyond simple changes brought on by technology.
Most of us have really evolved our teaching to be much more collaborative, much more experiential, much more focused on helping them, wrestle with problems and engage with community and the kinds of things they'll face in a professional work environment.
It is about the ability to evolve and to adapt. So they're trying to put forth students that are ready to contribute to the world.
In order to stay on top, my chase was always for money. In order to bring the school to the level that one feels it needs to be, it's that need to convince others that support for business education is paramount.
It's that simple. We cannot continue to be a great university and a great business school without the support from our friends, our alumni, and our benefactors. Our success over the past 100 years is due to so many people and their generosity and their efforts over that time to make us the business school we are today.
And I think all of those things have to be why Gonzaga School of Business grads are folks that other people want to have around.
That legacy is something that you don't want to let get away from names that you hear and from people that you met who were educated here, who taught here, and who led.
Without question, we are a fantastic business school with a bright future, and we will be around in 2121.